Here we are where COVID-19 still is the topic of conversation for a lot of our families, and immune system is what we're going to talk about this morning and what we can be doing to create healthy habits. And joining us once again is the team at MyCare Medical. We're so happy to welcome back Dr. Shah this morning, and then James Dubrey as well. Lots to get in here, but first, I love that I still have my Bucks set up here because MyCare Medical team was along with us on the fun ride for the big game. So thanks for doing that. And
go Bucks.
Yeah, go Bucks. Dr. Shah, let's start with you though, because this is still a lot of people are trying to figure out what we can do to make sure our bodies and doing everything we can, right, to make sure we're as healthy as possible.
Right. Yeah, you're right. So, people always want to boost their immune system. There's few things you can do and there's few things you can avoid. The things to avoid, obviously, if you're smoking, stop smoking. If you're drinking, drink in moderation. But one of the biggest things to do to what you want to avoid is to avoid stress. It is known that when your stress level goes up, your immune system goes down and you end up getting sick. And some of the things you obviously want to pick up is the vitamin C's and the zincs of the world, hydrate yourself, properly rest, and then exercise, obviously. So these are some of the things you can do and some of the things you can avoid to boost up your immune system.
Yeah. Talk about weather too. And I feel like where we live here in the Bay Area is so unique. I just feel like we get spurts of, the cold weather and then it gets warm. I don't know what all that change does, but talk about weather for a moment and what people should keep in mind.
The weather plays a big role. Everybody tends to become sedentary whenever it becomes cold. So I think what I try to do myself and what I tell my patients, just prep yourself for the bad weather. It's going to come. It's going to come. December, January hits, it's going to get cold. Have a routine in mind and follow that routine because it's very easy to get sedentary during the cold weather. Have a plan, follow it, and follow it through until the warm weather comes.
All right. Anything else to keep in mind as again, we're all trying to do the best we can just to make sure we are doing what is, at our hands that we can actually contribute to.
Right. So besides boosting up your immune system, what I talked about, and then having a plan in hand. And of course, at the end of the day, also always want to keep in constant communication with your primary care physician. That's a must.
Yeah. And let's talk about that. Let's bring in James because I know that's the mission, is making sure that when people are looking for the right doctor and making sure that they're really being heard and understood. That's what your team really prides yourself in, especially with seniors.
Yes, absolutely. Two tenets of our mission statement is highest quality care with exceptional patient experience. And what does that mean? That means that we want to make sure that when you come into our practice, you're greeted with a smile and you're treated as part of the family. And that's for several reasons. One is because a lot of times seniors come in, they're already anxious about some condition or some medical or something that they've observed. And the last thing you want to do is exacerbate that anxiety by having a bad patient experience. So we pride ourselves on making sure that the experience is one that is that doesn't induce anxiety. And in fact, it makes you feel like you're part of a family and you're at home. And we not only talk about it, we live it, we measure it, we relish in it. I mean, it's our day-to-day, mantra in terms of how we treat patients at our centers.
Yeah. Well, I know you're always doing these events and you got a couple more headed our way as well, right?
I sure do. If you want to see Dr. Shah, he's going to be live and in person on Wednesday, 2/17 at the Arc of Hudson. It's going to be from 2 to 3. And that address is 12052 US 19 North in Hudson. 12052 US 19 North in Hudson. Dr. Shah is going to be giving a live doc talk on that date. And then on the 18th, which is Thursday, the next day, we're going to have a food pantry. And that food pantry is going to be at 13906 Lakeshore Boulevard. And I wanted to make sure I got those in early because we've got some feedback that we don't give them enough time to get out to those events. So please come on out, see Dr. Shah on the 17th and come to our food bank on the 18th.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for all that you're doing, certainly in the middle of a pandemic when it's needed now more than ever. We appreciate you. We'll make sure all that info gets on our website, but there is MyCare Medical's website and the phone number as well. Thank you both.
Thank you.